So I'm taking all of my supplements. I've noticed a big difference in my stomach as well with taking L-glutamine. So definitely research it. I'll link it down below in case like you decided something that you could benefit from or trying. But I feel like in a way it's acting like a probiotic. I don't know, I just feel like it's contributing to how good my digestive system is being lately as well. So I really like it. I'm still taking my ashwagandha, so I just took that before. And those are basically the ones I take straight away on an empty stomach. Everything else I take, you know, with like food and stuff. So today the plan honestly is to relax, to have a day where I completely veg out and I just truly like unwind, relax, because I'll tell myself I need to do those things and then next thing I know I'm filming or I'm moving around or I'm checking things or so, and then before I know it, it's like time to go to sleep and I can't shut my brain off because I'm still like planning and trying to go through more things. And so we'll see how well I can relax today. I did do the yard last night, so that's off my list. That feels really good. I even did all of like the hedging, trimming of the bushes. Anything big that needs to be done in the house right now, honestly, it's mopping the floors. So I'm gonna do that later when Loki's in his kennel. Also, since I'm telling stories today apparently in this vlog, you guys don't know about the Christmas trees. All of my Christmas trees, it hurts to physically say this, I don't have any of my Christmas trees. None. Zero. And if you are not new to my channel, you probably just gasped because I had a lot of trees. I mean, what, 10? Somewhere in the ballpark of 10 trees. 1 in my bedroom, 3 in the kitchen. At least 1 in the entryway, though I've done multiples. 1 in the living room, 1 in the media room, 1 in Micah's room. And then I know I had multiple others, so I probably had in the ballpark of 10 trees. Well, as I was decluttering before I knew I was moving, I had already decided I was going to change up the theme in my house for the last house. This was when I thought I was spending Christmas there, and I even started talking about this like well beforehand. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do a whole new Christmas theme. And so with that in mind, I started donating a couple of my trees, and only because they just were like, the lights weren't working. I mean, they were still good trees, you know, so that's why I donated them. But like the lights, part of the pre-lit lights weren't working, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get rid of these. And even though I have the tool to make lights work again, but I could never figure that thing out. I'm sure I was doing something wrong. But anyways, then from there, I decided that I didn't like the trees in the kitchen, and I decided to donate those. From there, then I knew I was moving, and I was like, okay. And then I decided to get rid of the media tree, which I don't know why. I don't have an actual explanation for this. So the media tree gets donated. And in the end, I have 1 tree left from between all the donations. I somehow have, and you know what I remember actually? I remember when I was setting the pile out for the donation pickup, I was like, you know what, I just started throwing in trees. I remember that. I was like, forget it. I'm just gonna, these trees gotta go too. So I donated all of them. And I had one tree left, which was my living room tree. And you're probably wondering, well, how do you have 0 trees? Because it's not here. I'll tell you what happened to that tree. It's moving day. Movers have showed up to my house. I vlogged it. Back at the other house. And we pull out the big red plastic bag that my tree's in. Hang on, let's go in the bathroom, better lighting. All of my trees in my old car. So in my opinion, I thought it was genius because my car was just sitting there. If you guys remember me talking about this car, I had it for a really long time. It just sat in the garage. And I was going back and forth on donating it because it was in such bad condition mechanically. And I was just like, I just didn't feel comfortable donating it to somebody who really needed a car and then they get left with like problems, you know, or get stranded. So I was not comfortable with that because then I thought, let me give it to a high school student or let me donate it to a high school. Well, when I had first moved into that house, this is just really taking a whole long turn, but I feel like we haven't done a story time in a while, so here we go. I know a lot of you love story times anyways, but when I first moved in, when I met one of my neighbors, he had actually asked me to buy that car, and he wanted to buy it for his father, you know, an older gentleman, and his parents were from, I think, Guatemala, and they would like come and stay and visit, but they'd also like go back, kind of thing. And when they would come, I guess he just wanted to like have a car for them. And at the time I was just like, oh, you know, I don't know. I was still not ready to get rid of that car because it had a lot of sentimental value to me. It still hurts my stomach thinking about it. I am one of those people where I can get attached to things. And so there was just a lot of sentimental value to this car. So at the time I was just kind of like, oh no. And then a huge reason why I had said no was because I was living there. I just knew that it was gonna make me feel some type of way seeing it, which may seem ridiculous to people, especially if you're one of those people that you don't get attached to things. That's definitely gonna sound ridiculous. But for me, it was going to just feel awkward. And I was just kind of like, oh, you know, I was like, I'm just not, you know, I'm not there, I'm not ready, kind of thing. And then, obviously I just, as the years went by living there, I just kept putting off what I wanted to do with it because I didn't want to let it go. And I didn't, again, I hadn't resolved in my head what the best route was for this car. So I'm trying to talk about Christmas trees and what happened to the tree, but basically when I moved, it kind of forced me to, it forced me to deal with this car because I'm like, I'm already having to transport the Lexus, you know, and at this point, you know, I have 4 cars, you know, 2 of which are paid off and are pretty old, so there's that. And I was already having to transport the Lexus. You know, Micah's driving her car, I'm driving my car, and what am I gonna do with this SUV that I've had for so long? Like, it took Micah to kindergarten. Okay, I've had this SUV since 2005. So anyways, it forced me to really confront the issue. Now, back to my neighbor's parents, they ended up buying a car for him, and he did not like it at all. So next thing I know, you know, my neighbor comes back and he's like, I don't know if you're willing to sell it again, but like, we would really love to have your car. And at this point, I'm like, I know I'm moving and it's perfect timing. And so I was just like, well, you know, and in my head, I'm like, well, now I'm moving, I'm not gonna see it. And so, you know, I was just like, okay. And at that point, you know, I explained to him, I'm like, as is, it has all these problems. He knew about them, blah, blah, blah. And deal went through, everything went through, and his dad loves the car. He was really happy. Plus, he fixed the whole thing. And that's a whole nother story time, because what they told me shocked me. But basically the car is in amazing shape. And I'll say that it did feel weird because we were still there. This happened like in the beginning of May, I believe. And at that point, I'm like, oh my God, I am moving, you know, kind of thing. So, and we didn't leave till June, you know, so I spent a whole month kind of seeing the car, and it was hard. It was really hard for me, but it is what it is now, and there we go. But the point is, it sat in the garage, and I kept the Christmas trees all shoved in, stacked in, because I could fold the seats down. You know, after years of lugging these trees in and out of my car, you know how trees come apart and they have different pieces? Well, one piece had like a more spikier end that goes down into the base. And so it had like ripped a hole into the bag. And I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, but I'll tell you, it wasn't rats. The movers came and they said, yeah, there's a rattlesnake that just came out of that bag. I said, I'm sorry, what came out of that bag? And that morning, before the movers came, I get chills thinking about this because I want to actually throw up. But that morning, I was in the garage, I was moving that bag around because it wasn't in the car at this point. And I don't think that the rattlesnake had been in there the whole time, because it would have died, you know? It would have died in the car without any sort of food. Like, I don't know how long they can go without food. What do I know? But I had just, you know, like taken it out. So I think that it came from behind the backyard where all that construction they were doing and all of that. And, you know, they were clearing out the whole thing, and maybe it was forcing like all the snakes to kind of move. That's just a theory. So it was a rattlesnake. And I said, I'm not opening up that bag. I'm not opening it up to find out if there's eggs, if there's more. Like, it's not gonna happen. Nobody wanted to do it. And obviously I couldn't make my movers do it. It's not part of their job. So that Christmas tree did not come with us, and it ended up getting picked up by trash. So the point is, I have 0 Christmas trees. 0. I have a bag. I do have a bag that came with me. That's red, that I kept Christmas. I don't know if it's the garland. I don't know what's in this bag, but I'm actually scared to look in this bag. Even though there aren't any visible holes in it, somehow I'm still very nervous to open this bag up. But, so basically I have been looking at Christmas trees, and I can't believe I have 0 trees. I feel like this is probably the stupidest thing I've ever done. I don't know what happened to me. I just was in this gotta shed, gotta get rid of frame of mind. And then when I knew I was moving, then it like seemed to double somehow. But I gave Loki a bath and took him for a walk to air dry most of it off. We did this outside. And then I took my pet blow dryer to him to get him fully dried. And before I hop in the shower, I need to do this pretty quick because water's warming up, but I want to clean his kennel. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of Dawn soap. Okay, so much better. I'm out of breath. I'm doing too much. It's time for my bath because I stink. Just sweat, wet dog, hair's all over me. And I'm gonna start the day. Loki's just, he's always raring to go. Actually, I want to start a quick load of laundry. So let me do that, and then I'm gonna open up all the blinds and stuff. I worked on some like fall Halloween stuff last night, which probably one of my favorite things to do is to like think of decorating and how to, I don't know if interior design is a push, but just, you know, essentially like thinking about placements and things like that. So I was doing that, and now I'm just opening up all the blinds, and Loki's at his bowl, so let me get him his breakfast. It's Sunday, so I'm gonna be switching out his bowls. I bought that new piece right there, but it came with bowls, so I wanted to keep both of them since they both fit, and that way I can just like switch them out and clean the other set, you know, when I need to. So we're gonna do a little reset of his bowls later after he finishes his breakfast. And then basically, like, I just go around cleaning up because I don't really do it at night. By the time I get to nighttime, I just want to relax. So, I have to cover up the furniture now, so that's that. am. I love when you slobber all over the floors. I grabbed a slobber. Come on. There's the towel that I used to dry him off. I need to get Loki his own, like, proper pet drying towel, but that's what I used. So I wanted it to kind of like dry up before I put it in the washing machine, but he's smelling the window because that's where we had the towel and his soap, so he's just smelling everything again.
Seems to be adjusting. Experience is good or bad, make us who we are. Exactly.